Morning and welcome to Courtroom Chronicles Trials of South Africa. Before we dive in, happy birthday. I hope your day is full of peace and love. And as usual, we are going straight into the real talk, no fluff. And today we're unpacking the case of Tiffany Meek, Jaden Lee case. Heartbreaking case. And this case has South Africans divided into two. If you know, you know. In the socials, your TikTok, here on YouTube, there are a lot of people who say, I really think this woman didn't do it. And the others were like, she's guilty. Evidence was found in her flat. We have been divided into two. And yeah, I wanted to talk about this because we have this caught me by surprise. Let me just say that I was caught off guard. I didn't expect this. And yeah, let us talk about it. So, for months, this story has shocked everyone because it's almost a year. Just in May, it will be almost a year. But for months, this has shocked us. She said she was framed. She compared herself to the Jocelyn Smith case, claiming that the police have planted evidence. This is what she has said from the beginning with Auntie Debbie. But now she's planning to plead guilty. So, what really happened in Vleerhof? That is the question that we are asking ourselves today. So, let us set the scene. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the Jaden Lee Meek case. And we are talking about the mom, Lee. Tiffany Meek, sorry. Sorry, not Tiffany Lee Meek. Tiffany Meek. So in May 2025, that was last year, not so long ago, I had started my content creation a month earlier because of the Jocelyn Smith case. So just 2 months later, this happened. And the wounds were still fresh. We were still bleeding from the Jocelyn Smith case. And now we went straight into this. So 11-year-old Jaden Lee um, goes missing. And after he goes missing, the next day he's found on a staircase on the 14th of May 2025. He went missing on the 13th of May 2025. The next morning, his body is found next to a staircase in Vleerhof, the place that he lived in with his mother. They had been there for 3 months, and the community was in shock. The mother had just lost Hassan. I was fuming. I was upset. Who takes a child from a complex? Who does that? And how did you manage to woe this child into wherever that you took the child to? I was really upset. I had no idea what this was about to turn into. And the child was found. Initially, it was heartbreaking. It's a person's case. It's a child, 11-year old, and we just knew that the scholar transport had left the child at the gate, and the child never left. According to the security guards, they saw the child coming in, but the child never left. So, what we didn't know is that a totally different picture would unfold. Months later, look at where we are right now. So her defense, she said she's being framed. That is what she had said. I remember watching the what do you call this? The interview uh of Tiffany Meek and Debbie Dunn, the mother, Auntie Debbie. And the first thing that they did, they looked emotional. Auntie Debbie was crying from one um eye. And I was like, yo, this is so sad. I never ever imagined that the mother would be arrested at the time. Feeling bad for her. And people said she did it. There were people who were like, she did it. I was like, I whoa, guys, we've just come from the Jocelyn Smith case. And why are people so cruel? Why are you talking like this about this poor woman? She's just lost a child. She's grieving until until I saw a certain interview, and I was like, no, mm-mm, mm-mm, this is suspicious. But nothing had been done yet. And it kept quiet for a few months. June, nothing. hey, and something is coming. So, just after that, um, uh, she suggested that the state was forcing narrative. Remember, we had just come back from the Jocelyn Smith case. So, what she was saying kind of like made sense. She said they were invoking the Jocelyn Smith case, and the state was forcing narratives that someone else could have unalived her child, then planted evidence in her flat. There were so many questions. Who has the keys to the flat? Who do you live with at the flat? Because it was found out that she only lived with Jaden Demik. And a lot of people were asking, if she's no longer with the dad, who is she dating? What happened to the person that she was dating? And from that Sunday, when I watched that interview between her, the journalist, and the grandmother, something didn't sit well with me. And the first thing was they were upset with the police. This one, I could see it very clear from the beginning that they were upset with the police. They were even saying that the people around who were being interviewed, why were the police listening to those people? And I said, this is a little bit red flaggish. But then I thought nothing of it. And this story, this true crime that we are seeing here is the one that has made me to even start the Women on Trial series. I've only done one story, but there's something that I wanted to show viewers as someone who loves true crime, who's doing content creation in this niche, and I wanted us to look at it together. But anyway, let's get back into this. Now I am off ramping. So now, when this happened, there was also detail that she allegedly omitted about the whole thing, because then she was arrested. We were all shocked. The first thing that we heard, that a relative, a close relative, had been arrested. She was not in my mind. I thought of a friend, a brother, an uncle, and all of that. But when the mother was arrested, people said, "We told you she had something to do with this." And I was shocked. I don't want to lie. I do not want to lie. Then I started zooming in now, looking at her behavior, watching her when she went to court. I started looking at the things that were happening. She was emotional. That was different from the Jocelyn Smith case. I don't want to do the comparison right now. There'll be another video for that, because we are talking about what happened yesterday. So now she was arrested, and she left out the information that she came back the next morning, hey, before the child was found on the next to the staircase. She came back alone in the AMs. And why not tell the investigators? Why not say this in her affidavit? And her defense said it was strategic. They were still going to unveil that. And the question was, why not raise the alarm when your child didn't come home? There were other things there. A security guard seeing her. There's a lot that I've unpacked. If you do not know and you want to know, please go and check my playlist. It has over 20 videos. You can go from the beginning and watch everything and see where we are. It will make sense, I promise you. So now, and there were also the timeline that didn't, things were different. The blood that was found in Jaden Lee Meek's bedroom, his pillow, and the contradictions, they formed a strong circumstantial case. And while some people said, even her saying, "I'm framed," she went with that narrative, and the reality in the courtroom was different. What the magistrate said about her being manipulative, trying to derail things, and there was a Mr. Kumalo, the transport driver there. A lot was said, so that's why I said you can go back. We are going to dissect this. I think this is the beginning. This is the beginning. So, yeah. So now, yesterday, now we are coming to what I wanted to talk about. The shift. I intend to plead guilty to some charges. Do you remember what the charges were? It was murder, it was abuse, which was added a little bit later on. It was defeating the ends of justice. It was a lot. It was a lot. Not gay. I'm exaggerating just a little bit, but yes, the child abuse one was added later, and it was initially when this was still starting, and it was hush hush. There were allegations, rumors that there was abuse. They went to the school. The Department of Education went to the school. So all these things that the charge was later added on, it took us back to the ones who had been following, to everything from the beginning when the child was found from the staircase, to the arrest, to the rumors about the child abuse, to the school bag being found, the date that was found in the book that the child went to school that day, that the child went into Mr. Kumalo's transport. And Mr. Kumalo came back with the child as usual, and the door that was not working, that the other child had to open from the outside, and the other kids that had seen the child, Jaden Lee Meek, going out of the transport. uh, I listened to people picking sides and saying things. And I just asked myself, were they listening? Were they watching from the beginning? Or we just got emotional because we are women and we're thinking that a woman would never do this to their own child. But let me tell you something. When you watch true crime stories and you've watched the Jocelyn Smith case and you heard what was said about the mothers who would say anything to protect themselves, like Joshua Smith. Yes, it's different, but there were similar things that I saw, and we will talk about them in another different video. So now we've gone through all of that the child was found. We've gone through her going, trying to apply for bail. It was denied. The reasons why the magistrate denied that, she mentioned even manipulation inside. Now we are here now on the plea that she's planning to plead guilty to some charges. No one knows, except for her and her defense, what those charges that she's going to plead guilty to. So we cannot say we've proven beyond reasonable doubt that she did it. But I am telling you, there were so many things that were suspicious, things that didn't make sense, and a lot of contradictions. So now, yesterday, on the 10th of March 2026, Tiffany Meek appeared in Johannesburg High Court. Her lawyers told the state they intend to plead guilty to some charges, not all of them, but some. Now, this tells you one thing, that the state has overwhelming evidence. It's possible that the state might have overwhelming evidence that she's even willing to go to this, to say that she will plead guilty to some of these charges. I've already have scenarios. I'm already thinking of things. What is she going to say? She's guilty of, because we had already started the conversation. We were talking about the possibilities of what might have happened, and a lot of people were also saying that if she can tell the truth and be honest, it doesn't matter what happened. Maybe as women, as mothers, there would be something that resonates with the whole thing. But then this is where we are. So, what does this plea mean? It doesn't mean that she's admitting to everything yet, but it's a signal. She knows that the state has a stronger case. And I was also shocked that her defense, okay, I understand. There's no money to pay the defense because she said she's the one who's working and she is the breadwinner. She was not living with the mother. The mother has a job, but she said in her affidavit that she's a breadwinner. So now, like I said, that she's not, the lawyer now was representing her, but now the lawyer had, uh, we're told that she couldn't pay the lawyer anymore. And then obviously he withdrew and the state was helping him. Just when that I know that there are people who raise money for her to get representation, and they were willing to pay for that because they strongly believe that she is innocent. So now, uh, yesterday we had all of this, and that this will be on March the 25th. The court will hear exactly which charges she's pleading guilty to. Will it include murder? No one knows. Is it child abuse? No one knows. Is it obstruction? We don't know yet. But one thing is clear: the I was framed defense is dead. The same way that the OB, hey, if you've been following this, there was in the affidavit, there was the argument that the OB had been tampered with, but when they brought the original, they found that there's no such, and uh, that was dead. That argument was dead. Now we are seeing something else now. That the I was framed defense, it's also dead this time. So the big question is, we've been following this, and at some point, um, she said she was framed, but now we see her saying she's going to plead guilty on some charges. Yes, you can see emotionally she looks strained. You can also see she has lost a lot of weight, and you can see that this has taken a toll on her. And we've also heard, I've reported this before, that she was also stabbed while she was. We don't know what was being spoken about or what the fight was about, but we knew also that she felt unsafe there, and that happened. So South Africans will be watching closely. Best you believe me, a lot of mothers are watching, grannies are watching, and we were just fresh from the Jocelyn Smith trial. We are still not healed from that because we don't know where Jocelyn Smith is. Then 2 months later, it was Jaden Lee Meek. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it's not about who was right and who was wrong. But I kept my peace. I said, you know what? I'm a content creator. Uh, I do what I have to do. Report. I don't make news. I report what's already out there. So yes, I have an opinion. It's personal. Some people know where I stand with this, but yeah, there was too much evidence just from the private investigator. There are so many things that we'll discuss as we go along. I'm hoping maybe I will do a live on my channel that side on TikTok. Maybe we'll talk about it or do it here. We'll see. I'll plan it so that I can hear what you think and have a conversation with you guys. So South Africans will be watching this closely. This case has shocked us, it has divided us. There are people who are enemies now because of this case, because we take things too personal, and I think we've learnt a lesson when it comes to this case. And while we wait Tiffany's Meek next court move, one thing remains: the tragedy of Jaden Lee Meek, the loss of this 11-year-old is at the heart of it all. A father who has lost a child who was meant to even go to Spain, and there was soccer something that he was supposed to go there and represent the country and the school. It's very sad. It's very sad, and we just want justice for Jaden Lee Meek. And on the 25th is the day that's when we will see the truth unfolding. With that being said, I will see you in the next one. God bless you, and ciao.